In this video, I'm going to be vibe coding with the newly released Grok Build from XAI, which is an agentic CLI coding tool which is meant to compete with Claude Code and Codex and is now available for Super Grok Heavy subscribers. For the purpose of this video, I have purchased a Super Grok Heavy subscription, and I'm super excited to put this through a real vibe coding workflow and put Grok Build to the test. Grok Build looks super interesting. I wasn't able to test this out when it initially released because I've been super sick. You guys can probably still tell I'm a little bit sick, but I'm past the worst of it. But this is a very important moment for XAI, and I'll tell you why. People don't really use Grok for vibe coding. If you look at the artificial analysis coding index, what you'll see is that on this coding index, it scores a 41, okay? And GPT 5.5 scores a 59, Gemini 3.1 scores a 55, and Claude Opus 4.7 scores a 53. Now, this is only one benchmark, and you can't really judge a model based off of one benchmark. It does very well in other benchmarks. For example, if you look at the intelligence index, this is a completely different story. It scores a 53 on this benchmark, which is not very far off from GPT 5.5 or Claude Opus 4.7. And one thing to preface this with is that Grok 4.3 is a 500 billion parameter model, okay? GPT 5.5 and Claude Opus 4.7 are rumored to be 10 trillion parameters plus, which means that you have a 500 billion parameter model with Grok 4.3, which is actually performing pretty close to the frontier. And the frontier is models that are 20 times the size. So one thing I always say is don't sleep on Grok, because when they do release Grok 5, which is going to be a very large model, it's going to compete and it's going to be on the frontier, especially with it now being owned by SpaceX and SpaceX IPOing. I think that this is actually a very important moment that I don't want you guys to lose sight of, because this now is a harness for interfacing with Grok 4.3. Whereas before, you would have to use it inside of open code, you would have to pay per token, you would have to use it in a worse harness. This is now a harness custom built for the model. So we're going to put it to the test. We're going to put it through my real vibe coding workflow. Now, I do have a like goal of 300 likes on this video. So if you haven't already liked and subscribed or joined the BridgeMind Discord community, the home of the vibe coding movement, make sure you do. And with that being said, let's get right into testing out Grok Build. All right, the first thing that I want to do is I do want to open up Grok Build inside of BridgeSpace. Let's just launch 8 Grok agents here. Here they are, and let's just start punching out real bugs inside of the BridgeMind ecosystem. So the first one here is coupon codes don't reflect what the new price will be after the code application. So this is just a bug. They're basically saying, hey, after we apply a code, it's not properly reducing the $50 a month to what it would be after the code. So let's just, I'm going to paste in what they said. I'm going to then grab that screenshot. So let me just use CleanShot X here. I'm going to grab their screenshot and let's submit this here and drag and drop there. Now let's go over to this and let's just give it a prompt. I need you to launch 30 subagents and do a complete deep dive on what exactly the user's request is here and what the bug is that they're reporting, and then create a structured plan to fix the bug and get this working as intended. Do a complete in-depth review of the code, search the internet to gain a full understanding of the issue, and create a structured plan for the fix. So I'm going to do a big test here with the subagents. Now, I did already turn on the always approve mode. I'll show you guys the docs, but it's pretty typical. I feel like it's very similar to Claude Code or any other coding agent. It has your standard plan mode, it has your YOLO mode, or your, hey, I don't want you touching things. Does it have an ultra think mode? No, it doesn't. Okay, just wanted to test that. But let's do this. I do want to see what it looks like when you're launching tons and tons of agents. Let's just launch another one here, and let's say, I want you to launch 50 subagents and do a complete in-depth review of the BridgeMind API for security and identify any security vulnerabilities in the application and output all of your findings to a README file. And each finding should have a reasoning why it is a security vulnerability and a structured plan on how to fix this. Do not update any code. So we're going to launch, what was that, 50 subagents there. We'll test that out. Let's do a quick review here. Let's do a BridgeMind UI. I need you to create a remotion video that we will put in the home website. The remotion video needs to be a marketing video for Bridge Voice. It should show real Bridge Voice UI and show a nice walkthrough for how it works and who it's for, do a complete in-depth review, and then help me create a real-world digital twin remotion video that is a great marketing video that we will put on the website for Bridge Voice. So I'm going to do BridgeMind UI, and then we'll do Bridge Voice as well. So we'll drop Bridge Voice in there. I need you to launch 100 subagents to assist me in creating this remotion video. And once you're done with this, I need you to download it over to the downloads directory. So we're going to launch 100 subagents on this one. This one, you can see the subagents. Let's just expand this real quick and look at what does it look like. So you can see that there are, what was this one? 50 subagents. So it looks like up in the corner here, you can see how many subagents are launched. So there's currently 17, 18 subagents, and you can see code reviewer, explore, general, explore, and this looks pretty standard for a coding agent. One here, this one was what, another 50 here, and then this one's going to be 100. So it'll be very interesting to see that happen. Let's do BridgeMind UI here, and I need you to launch 200 subagents and do a complete performance. Oh, whoa, look at this. This one, whoa, they're all crashing. They all just crashed. Oh my gosh, he couldn't take the subagents. Wait, too many files? Wait, what just happened? It just crashed? Thread, SES, panicked at crates, CodeGen, XAI, Grok Shell, SRC session. Okay. All right, that's great. All right, we just crashed Grok Build because we launched way too many subagents. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see if we can launch less subagents. Man, did I just lose that though? That kind of sucks. Okay, this one's probably going to crash too then, right? How many, it looks like, is this one just frozen? I don't even know what's happening here, but let's get this fixed. It couldn't handle 50 subagents. Let me see if I can get this reactivated. Let's do Grok. Is there a way to resume a session? Let's do Grok, and then let's just see if we can resume. So it says Control S. Okay, coupon, which one was it? It was the coupon code, right? Yeah. So the coupon, wait, oh, it's still running. Okay, so this one's still running, right? Is it still running? Or did it crash? 50, it says that 55 are thinking. It looks like it's still running, right? Continue. Or maybe not. Maybe it doesn't look like it's still running. So we did crash it. Now, that was a little bit extreme. We launched a lot of subagents. That was extreme. Let's do another Grok here. But those two did crash. Those crashed. Claude Code would not crash no matter how many subagents I launched. I'll even show you guys. Let's do this. Hold on. Let's do a Claude Code here. Let's just add a Claude instance, and then let's launch 100 subagents with Claude, and then we'll do, this one was the API review, right? Yeah. Okay, this one's reconnecting. Okay, we'll relaunch this one. Okay, this one's running. I need you to launch 100 subagents and do a complete in-depth review of the BridgeMind API and identify any security vulnerabilities and output all of your findings inside of a README file. Do not update any code. So we'll do the same thing. I don't think that it's going to crash even at 100 subagents. Obviously, I think that, hey, Grok is new, but it did crash. Now, you guys can see that it's doing web searches here, web search here. It's thinking. So it looks like it is continuing here. We're at 12.6% context. It looks like it has a 512,000 context window, which is interesting because maybe I can configure that somewhere, but I'm pretty sure that Grok 4.3 doesn't have a context window of 1 million or something like that. All right, so these are still running. This is launching 100 subagents. This is not going to have any issues running subagents. Claude Code can run a ton. Let's say continue on this one here and make sure that it actually gets prompted. I need you to continue. All right, so this one will get this one to continue launching. This one's now fine. It's been running for a minute now, or I guess 3 minutes, and it looks like 8 agents are back up, but it did crash. 2 subagents are running here. So even though I ran a lot, okay, it looks like it says 1, 2, and then 4. Do you guys see this? So does this mean that it's when I click, wait, whoa, I can click this like it's a menu. Do you guys see this here? So if I click 1, wait, what even is this? I click 1, and this is, what even is this? Do you guys see this 1? Hold on, let's zoom in a little bit. Do you guys see how this says 1, 4, and then 2, and then the 2 has a check mark on it? I don't know what that means. Maybe you guys can let me know in the comment section down below what that means, but you guys can see 1, 4, and 2. Oh, it looks like just different menu options, because if you look down here, this is what's changing. So you can see that when I click 1, it just says it has different options. Then when I click 4, it has different options. Then when I click 2, it has different options. Okay, so it looks like that's for the menu, but it looks like it's struggling a little bit to run all the subagents. You can see it's only run 3 so far. Next.js, I asked it to run 50, and then over here, this one's only has 2 running. Let's see how many our Claude Code agent has going up so far. So we asked it to run 100. So far, it has 14. And I'm pretty sure that I feel like Claude Code, it's been around long enough now that it's very reliable, right? Grok Build, it's very new. It may not be able to understand the BridgeMind workflow, but we need more subagents. All right, let's use one of these Grok Build agents and see if we can build a new website for BridgeMind. I want you to review this website, and I need you to create a new Next.js website, which is a complete revamp. Call it BridgeMind UI Grok Revamp. This is a Next.js website that uses ShadCN and should be a complete rebuild of the website. Do an in-depth review and then build the website. Use 10 subagents to help you do this. So let's do this, and then I'm going to add BridgeMind UI at the end of this. Now, I am launching more subagents than I normally would, but the thing is that with Grok 4.3, I think that, hey, it's not as good at a lot of things than Claude is, and it is cheaper, and I am using the Super Heavy subscription. Is there a way to check our usage? Let's see if there's a command to check our usage. Yeah, there is a usage command. So usage, let's just do show credit usage here. Credits used, 2% used. Okay, so I'm 2% of the way through and then it says, it looks like, oh, wow. Okay, so this is on a 2-week cycle, it looks like, or maybe it's just by the end of the month. So you can see that it resets on May 31st, and I'm actually already 2% of the way through, which if this is resetting on May 31st, that's not that much usage, to be completely honest with you. I know that I just tried to launch 100 subagents, but look at this. It only launched 3 of them, and this over here, it only launched 7 of them. So to use that many agents and then to only get a look at this one. This one's launching. It's looking like it's using the Playwright. It's using Playwright. So it's going to navigate this and look at the website. That looks good. The tool calling there from Grok Build is doing a pretty good job, but that's actually quite surprising. 2% used. Let's punch out another ticket. This is a user that says sometimes it's not detecting their membership properly. So you can see that in BridgeSpace version 3.0.62, they have a screenshot that says browser needs basic, even though that they have a plan. And this is happening on Mac OS. So let's copy this report. Let's go over to BridgeSpace, and I'm going to not do this one. Let's actually just paste this one in. This is the bug report. This is a bug report from users in BridgeSpace. I need you to launch 5 subagents and identify exactly what is causing this. This doesn't happen to me, but it looks like it happens to some users. Don't update any code, but do review this in depth and create a structured plan for fixes. So let's see what Shift Tab. So you guys can see Shift Tab. Let's do Shift Tab. So you can see Grok Build, plan. So there's always approve and then just a plan mode. So by clicking Shift Tab, you can switch between always approve, don't always approve, and then plan. Okay, so that's interesting. So we can do that. Let's now paste in BridgeSpace Tari, and we'll launch a couple subagents there. Also, how's our Claude Code agent doing? Is it launching 100? Oh, wow, look at this. So it has launched. Oh, wait, hold up here. So it looks like it already did it. It said, oh, rather than 100 redundant agents, I partitioned all 582 files into 14 non-overlapping security domains. Okay, so it ran 14. So I guess that Claude Code does do a similar thing. So even though you asked for 100 subagents, it only launched 14, which I guess is kind of what we're seeing. Even though I asked for 50 subagents here, it only launched, I guess there's only 1 running now, but I think that maybe this 7, maybe this is the amount of subagents that ran that are done. Is that correct? If we expand this again, I guess 7. I just don't really get this. Maybe... Oh, I guess this is the to-dos? Maybe it's because here are the checklists 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess this is the checklist. This is the task list. So it shows check marks for, okay, there's 8 things to do, and this is how many are being worked on, and this is how many are completed. Okay, that's interesting for sure. I like that. But this one's working. This one's working. This one looks like it's just about done. Let's take a quick look at the docs and see if there's anything different about Grok Build. If you look at this, it is very typical. They have skills, plugins, and then marketplaces. That's very typical. They have hooks. They have subagents. They do have this very interesting thing that they decided to do, which is Claude Code compatibility. So Grok is fully compatible with Claude Code with 0 configuration needed, which is very nice. It also has Agents MD compatibility. So that's kind of nice. They kind of just interface with everything that's typical nowadays. Let's go to modes and commands. So here's that always approve mode. You have a permissions mode, so you can change it to always approve. But here's all the commands. So let's look at this and see if anything actually sticks out. So fork the current session into a new one. That's interesting. Share the current session via URL. That's kind of nice. Context, view the context usage. Toggle multi-line input. That's compact mode. Theme, you can change the theme. Send feedback about the current session. I guess this is for them. Is it feedback for them? View the current session plan. By the way, so they have that Claude Code, by the way. They have rewind. They have your usage. They have log out. They have hooks. They have plugins. They have skills. They have MCPs. Shell provided commands. Flush. Okay, this is actually interesting. So shell provided commands. So flush conversion memory to disk now. Memory, search and edit persistent memory entries. Dream, trigger an offline memory consolidation pass. Imagine, generate an image from text. Oh, this is actually, I didn't think about this, but this could actually be really useful, and I'll show you why. So if you guys didn't know this, it looks like you can create images inside of Grok Build. We'll test this out, but I'll show you guys why this is actually important. So if we go over to LM Arena here, what you're going to see is that in LM Arena, Grok actually has one of the best image generation models. So if we go over to image and we go down, hold on, let's just go to, geez, they messed up their UI here. All right, let's go over to text to image. So you can see here, GPT image 2 ranks number 1, obviously, but Grok Imagine is right here. And if you can create images via Grok Build, that would actually be very nice. You can do this with Codex, by the way, but I think that with Grok, it could be faster. Let's go check this out. Let's go over to BridgeSpace and let's just test this. Let's give it a prompt here at BridgeMind UI, and let's just say, I need you to create an image that is an infographic image of BridgeVoice, and then I need you to update the BridgeVoice product page to remove the animation that's in that home hero and replace it with this infographic image that you create. You can look at BridgeVoice for reference and for inspiration on what to create for the infographic, but it should use BridgeVoice as the reference for that image. All right, so we'll just give it to this here and see what it's able to create. But basically what I'm trying to do here is if I open up a browser, I'll just show this to you guys. So we'll open up a browser. If I go to this page here in BridgeVoice, this is what I want to see. I want to see this removed, and then we'll see if it can actually create that image and then replace it with an image that it creates. So that would be super interesting. If you're able to do this with Grok Build, this would be something that you can do with Grok Build that you can't with Claude Code because Claude doesn't have an image model. But let's test it out and see what it does. Okay, check this out. So it looks like this agent over here is done, and this is the plan mode. Okay, so this is the UI of plan mode. Remember, we did put this one in plan mode, and what's really cool about this is that it actually shows you in this modal a pop-up of the plan. If you guys look at this, the UI here is really good. So here's the plan, and I actually really like this approach. We can even full screen this and collapse it, and then we can also X out of this. And you just have to do A for approve, C for comment, and quit. Wow, this is actually really nice here. I like this UI. So let's approve this plan, and let's have it do its work. But that was actually really clean. One thing that surprised me a little bit during this session is that these agents have actually been taking quite a while to build. For example, this one here is just now coming back with its plan for creating the Remotion marketing video. I literally prompted that, maybe 15 minutes ago? Is there a timer on here? It was at least 15 minutes ago, maybe even 20 minutes ago. So it took 20 minutes to create a plan for the Remotion video. I feel like that's a lot. So even though Grok 4.3 is a very fast model, it did take a while to create even just the plan. Yeah, look at this, 24 minutes. So it took 24 minutes and 32 seconds just to create a plan for the Remotion video. That is way too long. So that's one thing to note. Now I know it launched 12, I don't even know how many subagents this one launched, but what I do know is that this is actually way slower than Codex and Claude Code, even though it's running Grok 4.3, which is a way slower, faster model. So I don't know why that's the case, That's a little bit weird to me, but you guys saw that. It took 25 minutes. Maybe it's going to do the work like super, super fast. Look at how fast it's working. It is going fast now. But yeah, 25 minutes just to create the plan for it. That seems like way too long, to be honest with you guys. But let's see what it creates. And at the end of the day, hey, it is about the output, right? So it's an interesting harness, but if it creates garbage, if it creates slop, then yeah, that's a problem, right? So we'll see what it creates, but yeah, that was a while on that one, 25 minutes for a plan. In the bottom left here is now done. That was working on the new website. Now let's see what it actually created. Would you start the dev server for the new website and give me the URL that it's running on? Let's get it real quick. Let's start this. And one thing, interesting thing is you do have to click into this. You literally have to click into this input, which is fine. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. Man, this is slow, guys. Here's the website that it created. So ship software at the speed of thought. This is supposed to be a Grok revamp. And you guys can make your own decisions here. What is this? 5 sections. All right, 5 sections on the home page. If I go to the products page, it made 1, and then look at this, a double nav bar here on this page. And then we go to the pricing page. No double nav bar on the pricing page, but not a good looking UI. Now we do know that Grok 4. It's so bad. Oh my gosh. Okay, sorry, I'm laughing, but I don't mean to laugh. It's just that Grok 4.3 is very far behind in this race. They're gonna get this solved, but it did not do a good job. This is worse than Kimi K2.6. The agent that was creating the product image, the infographic image for Bridge Voice, it does look like Grok Build is able to create images. So if you look at this, you can see this is the infographic that was created. Let's open it up here in the BridgeSpace editor, and you guys can see the image here. Let me just move this out of the way. But you can see this is the image that it created. I don't think this is a very good image, but you can see it. It did create the image, so that's really good, right? That's one thing that you can look at and say, hey, this is something that Grok Build has over a Claude Code. Now, Codex does have this built in, but that is a really good feature there. You can create images inside of Grok Build just by asking it to create images for you. Now, I didn't really prompt it very thoroughly there, but it was able to create an image. It doesn't look good, but it was able to create an image that I could potentially work with. But I think that GPT 5.5 and Image Gen 2 is definitely better. If you look at benchmarks, it technically is. Now, if you look over here, I think that this one is about done with our Remotion video. Yeah, it looks like it's done. So let's actually go over to our downloads, and yeah, this is done. So this is the Remotion video. It looks like this is it. Moment of truth here. So this is the Remotion video. Let's check it out. So remember, this is the marketing video for Bridge Voice. Now, it did create actually like a real pill there. And this is, if you look at my Bridge Voice, which is right here, this is the voice to text tool that I use, and that is the UI for it. Now, look at the positioning here. Okay, I'm gonna say one thing. I was just laughing in that last clip, and I kind of felt bad about it. But the thing is that the reason I'm like laughing is because this is not a good model. Now, this actually looks kind of cool here with the dictionary. This looks cool, but I laugh because Grok 4.3 is so far off in coding capabilities, particularly design capabilities. Grok 4.3 actually does perform very well on things like hallucination benchmarks or even intelligence benchmarks, even for its size. But when you look at this, you're looking at this and you're like, okay, if you are a serious vibe coder or somebody that uses AI, you're just not going to be using this model. And I think that Grok Build is interesting and it's cool. It's just, I think you have to ask the question of why would you want to use Grok Build? I'll tell you why. It would be because you want to get more access to the underlying model that Grok or XAI is providing. Now, the problem with that is that this model is not good. I've been using it in a session here. It's created a bad website, a bad Remotion video. If we go here, I want to check my usage. If I go to usage, let's just do show usage. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? 8% used? Are you joking? For it resets on May 31st? Okay, that's crazy to me. That's actually crazy to me. So 8% used during this. It's been probably an hour in total. You guys can see the time on my screen. It's 8:12 p.m. where I'm at. I've probably been making this video for about an hour or so, but 8% used for my, what is that, 2 weeks? It resets on May 31st, so that's 2 weeks of usage, and I'm already at 8%. So even though I'm on this $300 a month plan, I'm already 8% with just one session. So the rate limits with Grok Build are awful. This is terrible. 8% used. That is a complete ripoff. Wow, I did not expect that. All right, I think I'm going to call it quits there. That has shown me all I need to know about Grok Build. I am not going to give this the BridgeMind stamp of approval for 2 reasons. First reason is that this is a complete ripoff. 8% used on a $300 a month plan, and it's been like less than an hour. And it looks like my usage is for 2 weeks, so you couldn't realistically use this if you're like a serious vibe coder, because I just used one session, not even. My usual sessions are 6 hours, 7, 8 hours long. I would rip through 50% of my usage in one session for 2 weeks. That's insane. And the second reason is pretty obvious. I just think that when you guys look at the results of what this model is actually creating, it's pretty obvious. If you look at this website, I was laughing, and I feel bad that I'm laughing because obviously I do think, let me just preface this, I'm sorry for laughing. It's just that Grok is so far behind right now that if you do use the frontier models, you can't even compare this, right? You're not seriously using Grok 4.3 in a vibe coding workflow. You're just not, because look at this. Stuff like this, like double nav bars, and then if you go over to the pricing page here, actually, which nav bar do I want to use? Let's use this nav bar. If you look at this, I was laughing at this just because the UI is so bad. If you're using, look at this, just stuff like this, this is GPT-4 type stuff, right? I think that Grok is just insanely far behind. So I can't use a tool that has an underlying model that is complete garbage, right? And I don't want to put too much shade on XAI and Grok because that will change, right? This is a 500 billion parameter model. I don't think that you can judge it too harshly when, hey, if Grok 5 is 5 trillion, I don't know how many parameters it's going to be, but if that model is way larger, it has the potential to be way better. Hey, at the end of the day, it is about model sizing. So if this is a 500 billion parameter model, you can't expect too much out of it, but that usage limit too is just, that is all I need to know. Like, you're not going to be seriously using that as a vibe coder. But with that being said, overall, it's an interesting CLI coding tool. I don't think that it's obviously not going to be better than Claude Code. It's typical, it's standard. There's nothing special about this. And I think that coding tools are a little bit of a commodity. So when it comes to using coding tools, you are looking at, okay, how much are you getting subsidized and what model are you getting subsidized for? So when you're comparing that with Claude Code with Claude Opus 4.7 and Codex with GPT 5.5, what are we doing here, guys? So that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If you guys enjoyed the video and this was helpful, make sure you like, subscribe, and join the BridgeMind Discord community. And if I missed anything, or if you guys have any thoughts, questions, or comments, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the future.